Welcome to day 33 of Mastering Astral Projection. So this is a continuation of what's going on this week. Same process and procedures, except for the last one. So this new procedure to test is falling like a feather. So you imagine that you are a feather falling from high in the sky, maybe falling through clouds, and he suggests that with the inhale you imagine that a gust of wind is picking you up, and then as you exhale you imagine that you're floating downward. He said you could even maybe drop a feather from the ceiling and just observe how it falls to get a feeling for it. I found this exercise really difficult. I've been working really late, so I've been doing the exercises at late, and by the time I get to the last exercise, I don't know, I tried it in bed too, and it still wasn't working really well for me. I guess I find to imagine myself being a feather to be rather difficult. It becomes challenging to focus your mind, especially if you're tired, on this exercise. So I'm probably going to try again today, just for the sake of doing so. Robert Bruce also talks about, this is in the daily tips. I'm surprised he didn't spend more time on this, but like giving it its own section somewhere in the book. But he mentions making a litany or some sort of mantra to go along with the experience of, well, to be honest, he doesn't really talk about exactly where you would use it, but it's somewhere in the process of, I don't know, focusing your mind, or the astral projection process in general. So maybe he is going to touch more on this, but the idea is that you create something that helps with the downward motion. So I guess it's to sink into trance. Like I said, he doesn't go into detail to really describe the process. So, but maybe when you're doing the feather exercise, you might come up with something. And the something he does say that is something that you will use continually over and over, and that you should really develop it. So, you know, an idea might be like, I'm going down, I'm going down, I'm going down, hear me, I'm going down, I don't know. So it's something you can try, though. Any mantra or litany, anything that's repetitive that you can use over and over. Last night's dream, I was some sort of scientist, physicist, and I was doing an experiment. I guess I was up in space, and it was a big deal because we were proving something, which was it was like a magnetic field pattern associated with something, and we were in these little crafts, and we were at one point manipulating the craft and then letting the magnetic wave take over and observing the pattern that we went in. And there were three of us doing this, and we had to communicate with each other. I guess I was the person that had set up the project, and it was a trip, actually. I mean, I was like way out in space, and there were these patterns, kind of like looking at an aurora borealis, but more structured and multicolored, and it was beautiful. And as the craft moved with the magnetic field, it left a stream behind it, so we were making these beautiful patterns up in space, and the feeling of it was really interesting too. I could actually feel myself being swayed. It may have had something to do with the feather exercise, I'm not sure. After I got done with the experiment, I came back down to earth, and I mean that literally and figuratively, because I had to be a father, and kind of had a mundane livelihood that I had to take care of. So, you know, on the one end I'm up in space and I'm a scientist, and this other, I think I was having like a dinner party or a party for my son or something, and which I thought was interesting, that I had these two contrasting positions in my life. So anyway, that was my dream. Have a great day.